the dude stacks stats. So let's go.
Yeah, everyone advocates Black to be, pigeonholed into this farming role, but I want to see some versatility. I always love it whenever I see. I think more than any other player, I always love it whenever Black steps into a new role because he still has traces of his carry blood in whatever he takes on, and I can see that with this. Yeah, no, it's definitely fun. It's what I want to see. I want to see a Pudge that can somehow manage to have an impact both early, mid, and late game. And sometimes players who aren't very experienced on the hero may not be able to be relevant in all three phases, but I have faith in Black to do just that.
Yeah, so the other kind of big thing to talk about, and I'm sorry if there's Trust fans out there wanting me to talk more about Trust, but Faceless, obviously a fan favorite, and definitely the stronger team between the two. I want to mention Jabs' Invoker, because the last day for the previous BTS broadcast, he played a ton of Invoker, and I think he was pretty close to 100% on the hero. He is absolutely amazing. I think a couple of his plays actually made it to Reddit, where one of them, he was right-clicking Ember Spirit, forcing the Ember Spirit to Remnant back, in which right on top of his Sunstrike that he prepped out like a second ago. So he would make those amazing plays. He would generally always win his lane, or his team make sure that he does. And he always has some insane mid-game impact with that Invoker. So, you talked about the Black Pudge, I'm talking about the Jabs Invoker. Also, the Nuts Rubik is, for the lack of a better term, just nuts. Like, it's just really, really strong. So, I think Faceless is definitely within their comfort zone, despite the possibility of a role swap. And they should be playing very good Dota. Whereas Signature Trust, they're going for okay.
That's what they're going for.
Okay. I was going to say, pretty standard stuff. And you could argue that Meepo is also very standard in this patch, but very good and very experienced teams could shut down on Meepo if you just gank him enough at that 7 to 15 minute phase of the game when he's just kind of jungling on his own. You could just shut him down.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually yesterday seeing the debut of Abed Meepo on Team Onyx after he finally arrived to the team house, and I know you and I had casted a handful of DAC qualifier games where we were seeing a lot of mid-Meepo, and it was kind of off and on, especially the way that we were seeing how here the players were choosing to itemize the Meepo. I know sometimes we saw early Wraithband spam, early Dragon Lances and stuff like that, but I consider Abed to be the premier Meepo, and he actually went for dual Dragon Lance, dual E-Blade, dual Diffusal Blade.
No boots?
He was doing really good though, so really he could build whatever he wanted, but we'll see what this, I don't even know who the Meepo player on Trust is, but I'm going to be keeping my eyes open.
Yeah, I imagine Lakel's the carry play will be most likely handling the Juggernauts. We have a couple stand-ins here, so I mentioned Boombao earlier, I don't even see him here, so I don't know. Again, Sig Trust is a team that kind of resurface and then submerges from the Dota scene, so it's kind of hard to keep up with them, but hopefully they make a good name for themselves, and it's going to be Enigma. So Ice has been playing this in the off lane. Guess what item he goes for first? Not Blink Dagger, not Midas, thank God, not Mech, he goes for Helm of the Dominator.
It's what all the cool kids build these days. You're like, if I was one of these people who used to build an early to mid-game stat item that's also kind of team-oriented, it doesn't matter what you were used to build, now it's always Helm of the Dominator.
But when you see Enigma, it just goes hand-in-hand with the Mech, right? Like, if you look at Enigma and you talk about a teamfight item, Mech is the first thing that comes to mind, but what I've seen from him when he plays the Helm of the Dominator is that obviously it grants the plus attack aura to your Eidolons and to your team as well. So that means they just split that much faster, and you just play split pushing Enigma, which is not something you kind of think of. Yes, he can push, but most of the time he pushes with a team, and the biggest contribution to his team is his mech buying, is that black hole via the team fight. So for me, Ice has been kind of taking this hero to a new level, if you will, and it's very exciting to watch.
I think I'm okay with playing a more farming and pushing-oriented Enigma this game, because right now, Team Faceless doesn't have the best scaling cores. And going up against a Meepo is a tall order by itself, and then going against a Meepo and a Juggernaut means that you're really committing to the fact that you don't want to take this late game, because if it goes past 30, 35 minutes and you don't have a significant tower advantage or a few Raxes down at that point, you're going to start going downhill very quickly. And
Yeah.
so if Ice 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 does go for, the Helm of the Dominator early on, and does he ever go Midas on Enigma or no?
I have not seen it, but maybe if he has a really good early game, we could see it.
Right, okay. Well, regardless, I want to make sure that he is farming and not just exclusively searching for team fights. Especially because, man, if he manages to hit level 25 Enigma, I've only heard the legends. I haven't seen it in a game yet, but I would really like to see another 8 Eidolons on the field.
Alright, my pro's gonna walk up the hill. I don't think he's in trouble or anything. Pudge does not have boots, does have the 1 win lace. So actually, I was in a game where... in a pub game where the Enigma did hit level 25, and it's a sight to behold. It's just
Really?
it's Eidolons everywhere. Thank God I was playing Bounty Hunter. I hit 25 assault. I got a Battle Fury, so I was just kind of farming off of Eidolons instead. But if I wasn't somebody that has Janata every second and plus 100 damage and a Battle Fury, I might have been a little scared.
Yeah, and for outside of Underlord Firestorm, there really isn't the best wave clear. I've
Meeple?
seen... Yeah, okay, so Meeple is good wave clear, but like Poof in a late game situation is pretty much used exclusively for initiation. Like he's going to get a Blink Dagger almost definitely.
Yeah.
And whenever you're getting sieged by, and not necessarily a level 25 Enigma, but just an Enigma with a Helm of the Dominator, like you said, and then the threat of Pudge hooks, Meepo, even being as far ahead as he probably will be at that stage, will still need to be careful.
Yeah, he's not poofing to kill Eidolons if they're hitting the tower. That's probably too dangerous, but in terms of just like, let's say if ISIS makes some Eidolons, just kind of A moves it down the lane, then Meepo could fairly easily clean that up. But that's still very far from now. I actually don't think this game will hit 25. Every time I set that on a castle, it does definitely get to 25, so who knows what's going to happen this game. One thing, again, I'm going to be looking out for is how will Faceless shut down this Meepo, or at least attempt to, in the 7 to 15 minute mark. Are they going to send non-stop gank party to the jungle? Are they going to push down all the tier 1 towers and proceed to tier 2s? Are they going to group up and do a lot of stuff in team fights? Or maybe a combination of all of that? Who knows?
So how relevant would you consider the fact that this Meepo was a last pick Meepo? Do you think that Faceless would have drafted themselves a little bit differently as opposed to just picking the Enigma in response? Or were they pretty much okay with whatever Signature Trust threw at them with this draft?
So Faceless had the overall last pick of the whole draft, right?
Correct. They picked Enigma after the Meepo.
Yeah, so I was thinking something that could be a little bit more active in terms of ganking, like Nyx Assassin from Ice Ice Ice. I'm not sure whether that's banned out instead. But let's say if they didn't have the Enigma pick, let's say they just had some random offlaner, like Slaughter, for example. I still think that just with having Pudge on your team, you have a lot of game against Meepo. Pudge might not be a good, like, in a 1v1 scenario, because if you hook a Meepo, he'll just poof the rest in and kill the Pudge, but with any kind of teammates nearby, it's going to be pretty good.
Rubik throwing down Ogre. This is a very odd gank. I mean, the bounty runes are already gone. I don't really know what Trust are trying to do here.
Oh, I think what they're trying to do is they want to make sure that Nuts does not get the Ancient pull off. I'm not sure whether...
Oh, yeah, that's been a thing recently.
Okay, Impale's going to hold it. Actually, Nuts might be in a little bit of trouble. Ignite is coming off cooldown in a couple of seconds. Nuts going to eat one more right-click. Good toss back here. Now the Pudge is in position. Eidolons are now hitting Tigger as well. Tigger's going to be giving up first blood. My pro is going hard here for Nuts. He does have Ignite up, but Nuts should be easily able to juke this. And the two supports are going to be stranded for days. He pops the Ignite. Should actually not get the kill. Ooh. Okay, he does get it with the one big smack, but... I think this is a pretty big victory here for Faceless.
I wish I had team-specific vision on, because he placed that tree, the Rubik did, while he was escaping, and I was just like, oh, okay, he wants to get some regen. But no, it was one of the fog trees, and I don't really know if it worked, but I like the idea behind it, and, I mean, he managed to outsmart an Ogre and a Lion, forcing the first blood out, so well played.
Alright, so for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, the Ancient pool, you could drag the Ancients over here, and because they're not magic immune anymore, you could lift them into this spot. And then the creep wave now walks here and then drags the creep wave up. You can also do that on the Gyre, also, although not as guaranteed, I think.
And you can do it on the other Ancient stack right next to the mid lane as well on Radiant. It's really kind of odd that more measures weren't put in place to prevent that. But seeing as how, even though Signature Trust didn't get the kill, they did distract Rubik for quite a while, and he's ended up going back over to the bot lane to zone out this Underlord.
Oh, great hook here from Black here, and nice body block as well. The Eidolon being micro, like Kels is trapped in here, the creep wave, the tower, and the Eidolon surrounds him. And this is the reason why we see Black moving off the carry road to play support pledge.
Yeah, this is the reason why I like seeing Enigma have, I like seeing Ice have heroes with summons. I love seeing him do that kind of body blocking play with Nature's Prophet, and I think that's the first time I've seen him do it with Enigma, but that was perfect, getting that kill.
Bottom lane here,
Meanwhile,
we did
bot
have
lane.
a toss back. Mr. Jin is going to be going down. No, the Bugs actually just dies, and the level 1 Fable, it's not going to be enough to kill him, but good harass here. He'll definitely need a Shrine up. I hear a Sunstrike. Good guess, but not going to be on the mark. So
Jabs has actually opted for the Alacrity build, I suppose, is what you call whenever the Invoker does end up going for that early point in W. I'm curious to see how Jabs will end up skilling out this game. I feel like he needs to go QW, because with all these, I guess, setup things like a Pudge Hook, Enigma Black Hole, I thought Tornado EMP would be useful, but maybe he feels like he needs to be a damage-dealing core, seeing as how the rest of his team may not scale.
Enigma on the top lane. Barely able to walk away from a gank. He's fine. Yeah, Jabs normally always goes for this build because his team's is generally built for Sunstrike kills. So he's going to be fishing for a lot of those, like we just saw, the one on bottom lane, although that missed. In terms of Sunstrike setup, the Pudge is a decent one, Rubik is a decent one, and so is Enigma. They're not kind of like guarantee stuff like a Line would be, for example, or Venge would be. But he's very good on the hero, and I imagine he will be able to set them up. My pro is going to walk over a Flying Courier, so his position is going to get immediately revealed.
And they've left Enigma alone in this top lane now, and there's a very aggressive Dire Ward now placed by my pro. They want to either catch out rotations... Oh man, hook on mid?
Probably
he was prowling.
Should probably just watch the Pudge. I don't know why I'm watching my pro dropping wards. Ice, gonna Shrine up here and should be fine.
Huh. I saw Black prowling mid for quite a while, but yeah, I guess Meepo doesn't have any high ground vision. He has this one ward, but it's mainly scouting out all of the secondary jungle from the Radiant right now. I don't really know why they're putting so much focus on this Enigma, or rather this Enigma's lane, but if they don't protect their Meepo, it's not going to be able to scale very well.
Well, Meepo giving away 1 kill is not the biggest deal. It's more so whether he's going to give away a string of kills in the mid game, which we're going to have to wait and see. Mid lane, though, now Black's going to come in. Should be easy rot toss back. My pro is going to give up the kill. The right click should go to Invoker, although Black's going to take it for his team. And he's on a mega kill streak. 4-0.
4.5 minutes into the game. Yeah, okay, this is what I wanted to see.
Yeah. Bottom lane. I guess, ironically, XY is probably having the hardest time on this team. Because Spitlord is not exactly the easiest hero to lane against. But here comes Black, so get ready for some kills.
Underlord only now spots out the Pudge, but too little too late.
Yep. And he's going to try to juke the poke, but experienced Pudge players will just kind of walk after the bot. Top lane here, we're going to see an Impale. And a very easy kill against Ice. Getting caught out here by the 2 support.
Oh, but the Meepo.
Tinker?
Or, sorry, the Lion.
It's fine.
Ooh.
Sunstrike?
Oh.
Oh!
Oh. Oh! Caught between a rock and a hard place. I mean, I'm sure he didn't actually know.
Yeah, I wonder why he stopped.
Because of the Sunstrike. It was Sunstrike. You gotta always consider that.
But you don't know the Sunstrike's coming. Whereas you see the Eidolon chasing after you. So... Well.
Ended up just being a support kill, and that was a fairly big commitment. They only had to send 1 Meepo, not 2. I don't really know what the other one was doing. It looks like it was farming the jungle, so really not the biggest deal to trade the Lion kill back. But yeah, Enigma's still having a grand old time in this lane. The fact that he's able to lane so proficiently, he's able to hit level 6 despite such a large amount of attention placed on him. Ice is probably, yeah, so he's gone for the headdress, yeah, and so it looks like he's going to be going for the helm as you predicted.
Yeah. Also, one thing I kind of want to mention, although it hasn't really been important just yet. Hold that thought. Faceless is going to make a gank here at Underlord. And there's a double damage on Nuts. Not that they need it. It should be an easy kill. I like the fact that Black has not really expended his mana for this rock, for his hook, because he doesn't need it. So, and now he's
gonna need a top maybe.
Black hole has been used here, and now it looks like Lakel's gonna go down to a great hook. Oh my god, that divided the barrier. But now here comes the Meepo. Black in a lot of trouble. Nuts has poured in as well. He is definitely gonna go down. Nicely done here by Meepo. Kicks an unstoppable streak. That's gonna be worth, what is it, 200x to go here for PP.
I'm surprised that this Meepo is being able to put such a large focus on this top lane. I guess he kind of gave up on the mid lane between farming up the jungle and I guess all these rotations to the top lane. Invoker has kind of been left to his own devices mid, and that's okay for a Meepo. And it's not too big of a deal. Invoker's going to manage to get farm, and Jabs is going for a Midas anyway, so a few minutes here and there of harassment isn't going to stop an Invoker. I
mean, if you look at the net worth chart, right, Meepo's ahead by 1,000, so whatever he's doing is pretty good. Now, granted, a lot of that 1,000 just came from the kill against the Pudge, so maybe if he hadn't had that, I would be saying something else, but so far he's doing pretty good. And he's already got the first Dragon Lance, working towards a second Power Tread's already online, so yeah. Every timing is really being hit by the Meepo, at least.
The Meepo, yes, but his other core, Lakel's Juggernaut, is kind of falling behind. This Pudge actually has a higher net worth than the Juggernaut right now, despite pretty much, I don't think Black has hit a single creep this entire... Oh, he has been hitting creeps. How foolish of me to think he wouldn't. But he's still farming at, basically the same rate as a core right now.
Sure. I mean, Black has been nothing short of effective. I don't think he has done anything crazy. Like, his rotation has just been absolutely solid. He has hit some very nice hook onto the Juggernaut up top, though. Kind of splitting him between, the creep wave and earlier, the Black Hole. That was pretty clutch stuff.
Well, let's see if he can react to this smoke yank on Ice Ice Slice. Yet another, man. They really just want to bully Ice Ice Slice into submission. And he kind of suspects it, hiding in the trees.
Is he really the problem, though?
No, he's not, but he's free kills, I guess.
Okay. Well, if you can catch him.
Oh, never mind. He's not free kills.
And now Black's here. And now Weaver's here. They're going to focus on Nuts, but I think Nuts just baiting. And now, Black has gotten in position. We're going to see Lakel spinning around. He's now going for Ice Ice Ice. Ice 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 knows he will survive. No more Omni Slash. This. Oh, but they impale, though. This is going to get him. Sunstrike is going to miss as a result. Lakel's trying to run away. The Buck should be able to get him. TP's going to get cancelled by Black. My Pro's going to go down. DXY should be an easy kill. So that is a 4-for-1, I guess.
Oh, meanwhile, yeah, Invoker got the kill on this Underlord down bot, and PP is looking, but
got him. Oh, wait.
Welcome to 7.0, my friend. Earthbind does not cancel TPs anymore.
Man. Yeah. You're right, you're right. I was just so, encoded, be like, oh, that's coming, I'm dead. But...
It's part of the... So Meepo did get a really big buff of all of the stats being shared straight up, no Aghanim Scepter required. But now it's almost like Ursa style, where early game, if you see a Meepo walking towards you, you can just poof out. Unfortunately, Black had his TP on cooldown, and poof is a lot of damage in this early game.
So, Citrus is in a position where they really just need a Meepo to carry them the game, right? Would you disagree otherwise? Because Lakel's is not doing it. And I don't think... I mean, Pitlord is doing fine, but Pitlord is not what's going to carry you back in the game.
Yeah, it's basically going to come down to how Lakel's is going to be able to play the next few minutes. If he's allowed to just kind of farm while the Meepo makes space, then the Juggernaut can still become a relevant force. But if Juggernaut has to keep showing up to fights and keep having to participate with all these smoke attempts, then I don't really know he's going to scale top lane.
Oh.
No, never mind. Mid lane. Sunstrike kill. Another hook. Dismember on the Meepo.
Yep. Like I pointed out earlier, Pudge against Meepo, pretty, the perfect hero you want, right? You just kind of isolate him, easy Sunstrike setup. And this is the reason why that Jabs really likes to go for the Sunstrike, though. The hook gets a creep. Good try, though. I think that might have been his first hook miss for Black.
possibly.
10 minutes.
Although it was a somewhat valuable hook miss in the fact that it may have revealed that they have this ward in the dire jungle, but right now Sig Trust supports are so poor that they can't even afford sentries. And right now Tigger going for a smoke gank on Jabs.
Okay, Mr. Jin's gonna come in here as well, and now Jabs gonna try to go for the tower. Last hit defensive. Oh, but good impale here by Tigger. They're still gonna go on Jabs regardless. Black's gonna probably come in and help him out. Okay, Firestorm being dropped here. I think that was Nuts' Firestorm. They toss Mr. Jin back. Can we get a secondary hook? Black waiting for the cooldown here. But they don't really have a lot of spells to follow.
And Dire has this ward which is about to time out as well, but I'm surprised that Invoker, he looked so tanky there. I felt like there were tons of right clicks and damage being thrown at Jabs, and I mean, all he has is a Null Talisman, and he actually went for max Exort, so he wasn't even like regenning that much from Quas Orbs, but I'm surprised that they just didn't have the damage to kill him. I guess if Meepo's not participating in these ganks, Sig Trust has a really hard time finishing someone off, which now Meepo has completed a Blink Dagger, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the line has 6 there, right? If he had Finger, I think that would have been...
he didn't. Yeah.
But I think it's fine, because in the last couple of minutes, you talked about Lakel's being able to get free farm, and Meepo has not been harassed apart from that one punch kill in the mid lane, so that's pretty much the game plan for Sig Trust. Just make sure that Meepo has room, and make sure that Lakel's can catch up. With that said, though, I think the rest of Faceless is farming extremely well. XY? Gonna get rooted. Do they have detection? Okay. It was a pretty overzealous gank, trying to get a Weaver without detection.
Yeah. And speaking of the Weaver, Weaver has also been farming up really well. It's 3rd place right now in net worth. We've been talking about how much this Faceless team... Oh, Hook, not gonna connect on anything. We've been talking about how much this Faceless team may suffer scaling into the late game against the Juggernaut and Meepo, but if Weaver keeps up this pace of basically just being one net worth below the Meepo, then he's going to be able to probably maybe even solo Juggernaut later on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that he has to worry about is that line is probably the ultimate counter to a Weaver. So much disable, so much burst damage, so he's going to be having to play around that, and that will force him to go for something like a Lincoln Sphere first, which heavily kind of disrupt his damage output, at least in the mid game. But eventually, he'll be able to catch back up. So interestingly, Jabs has gone for the Yule Scepter build. I guess if you're coming from a pub game, this is the most common transition because it gives you the solo kill potential, but you rarely see that in a pro game because most Invokers are looking to do more with a team and less so by himself. But what do you think about the Yules? Is it like a survival against Meepo Poof kind of technique?
Yeah, I think this is actually more of a defensive-oriented Yules rather than an aggressive one. Like, obviously it'll be great if you do manage to find a Meepo or some other support isolated, but there's a lot of setup on Signature Trust that Invoker will fall victim to. There's Pit of Malice, there's Earthbind, and then there are 2 stuns with the Fire Blast and Earth Spike that you need to be very concerned about.
Sure.
So anything that Jabs can do to kind of give cheap survivability, because I don't think he wants to get a Lincoln's now, but he'll almost certainly get a Lincoln's later, I think, in this game. But right now, Yules is a good hybrid between aggressive and defensive.
Or maybe even a BKB, if
that's true, yeah.
he feels the need to do so. But right now, we're going to see a little bit of push and trade coming here. Faceless definitely getting the better of it if they get a tier 2 for a tier 1. Eidolon, Siege Unit going to work here. And Enigma has actually gone back for a Blink Dagger, so probably one of the best answers against a Meepo. You see him unload that poof combo, and then easiest black of your life.
Which maybe they'll debut it. I mean, he already revealed it by pushing that tower, but if they want to go for this tier 2 defense, then they need to start setting up now. They don't have a smoke, so they're just going to kind of walk around. Oh, they're going for Roche, or maybe?
They're going to have to get a little bit more, in my opinion, before they could just go into Roche like this.
Well, they're not showing on the map, which apparently is enough to scare Signature Trust from backing up. Now a few heroes are showing themselves mid, and it's too late. I guess the push is already dismantled. XY, there's a sentry ward here.
Alright, he's going to be fine. By the way, this is not something you often talk about, but generally, drafters will not allow the enemy team to get a Rubik when you have Pit Lord, because all he's going to steal is Firestorm. And what ends up happening is this Meepo is going to get absolutely farmed. Sorry, when I say Meepo, I meant nuts.
The Rubik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna get like...
I confused the two.
Yeah. They're very similar heroes. Hook is gonna happen on the mid lane, and easy setup here by Ice. That should be a kill, and maybe perhaps into a push.
No, they find Underlord. It's only level 6 Rift, though. Okay. He's gonna get out. Take line. That would have been sick.
Would have been funnier if the hook hit him at the mid sendback. I don't know what
yeah, no, that's what I was hoping for. Yeah, like it catches him, it makes contact whenever they're leaving, and then it brings him back because that's how Pudge Hook works.
I see. Well, Roche is definitely happening now here, and I'm not sure if there's anything that Faceless could do about it. An illusion as well as a creep wave is gonna scout out the TPs coming in, and Black is just waiting for a hook to happen. And I think Roshan is gonna
dominated creep is gonna discover it, but they don't know how much HP it has, and they're making moves.
They want to fight this. Okay, Roshan is gonna go down. Age is gonna get picked up. Black gets a hook here, but blocked. Meanwhile, on the backside here, Black Hole is gonna find the meatballs, and the meatball is gonna get dropped. The mech has been used. They do get the Enigma. They will get one more. So far, teamfight going pretty well here for Sick Trust. They're gonna need a little bit more. Hook's gonna miss as a result. Black coming back here. Nice finger of death here. Tigger doing a lot of work. They take the Aegis as well, and Mr. Jin's gonna try to clean up versus Black. The Chaos pops a mango, spins off against Black. They need a Pit of Malice, cooling down a couple of seconds. Black walking up the hill. He will have Shrine. Pops a magic wand. Okay, Shrine, Shower, pretty good. Now he bites him, getting even more HP back, but I don't think it will be enough here. And Black will also gonna go down. So far, 5 for 2 engagement. XY comes back in here. Lakel's should be okay. I say that though. XY not giving up the chase just yet. He does have Swarm. Okay, we'll swarm Lakel's. Lakel's still running away. Tigger does have Suns available. And they will back off. So if you include the Aegis kill, that was 5 for 2. Sick Trust, it looked pretty scary there. And they lost Meeple as the first hero, but damn, that Pitlord did so much to work in that fight.
He did, but it should have been a little bit better for Faceless, at least post-Aegis. XY made the decision after he respawned that he could either follow the Pudge's journey and getting ganked by the Underlord and Jug, or he can try to go for a kill on Lion. And he tried to go for the kill on Lion, but just wasn't able to do it because there were already preemptive sentry wards on this dire ancient area. And so he gave up on that, and had he known that Pudge would have survived with the Shrine and the Magic Wand, Weaver could have done a lot of work against basically a manaless Juggernaut and an Underlord with all of his spells on cooldown, but wasn't the most optimal fight. Maybe he can redeem himself now.
Okay, Mr. Jin getting ganked, but his teammate is coming in. Tigger in position. They want XY. Do they have enough is a question to hex him up. Okay, Centaur kind of driving everyone away. I thought Juggernaut was part of the smoke gang, but looks like he was, or Meeple was, but looks like he was just busy farming. Everyone backs off, but Sick Trust is down 1 smoke as a result.
This Enigma is definitely tanking up now. After we've completed the Blink Dagger, he's going for a BKB back.
Yep.
And like I'd mentioned, all the stuns and disables that are a menace for Invoker, obviously that's a huge problem for an Enigma as well. And Invoker actually went for an Aghanim Scepter second item, so none of the defensive choices that we mentioned, like the Lincolns or the BKB, but actually now going more aggressive. He has maxed out Exort, and so he's dealing a lot of damage, and Aghanim Scepter just helps him out all the more.
I think it's really hard to argue against Axe, right? Because, I mean, you can even make the argument that Axe is a defensive item because you're able to cycle through a spell so fast. Not to mention all of the stats it gives you. So, you could, you know, now be able to cast like 3 or 4 spells in a fight as opposed to 1 or 2. Well,
yeah, and that's going to be important early on.
Yeah.
Right. Which, yeah, like he didn't go for the Midas, or he did go for the Midas, so he's going to be getting those levels pretty quickly on. And again, like, he's still outscaling this Juggernaut. Now Juggernaut has surpassed the Weaver, probably as a product of the last fight. Oh, Hook misses, but the Black Hole committed.
Yeah. Good thing that Ice says was not shy at dropping that Black Hole, because the Malefice was not going to lock him down, so. Good stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nuts did not have a Blink Dagger yet. He's closing in on it, 1,800 gold, so he'll have it soon. Because with Blink Telekinesis, then it would have been an easy hook, probably easy dismember, didn't need to use the Black Hole, but it's important to not feel shy, like you said, about using Black Hole.
Yep. Which that means the Meepo does have a lot of freedom in terms to play a lot more aggressive. Because Black Hole is really the one spell that he's more worried about. I gotta say though, Faceless has been extremely aggressive over the side of the map, and I don't think they have been punished apart from that one Roche engagement. That Roche engagement definitely hurt, but if you now look back to the net worth chart, Faceless is still very much so in control of this game.
And Jabs is very in control as well, actually surpassing the Meepo in net worth right now, which is extremely impressive. Now completes BOTs, so really he's like a jack of all trades right now. He's got defensive, he's got offensive, he's got split push, he's got right click. Jabs is going to be very important in these next few fights whenever Faceless decides to group, which you'd think with the Helm of the Dominator Enigma that they would be more inclined to group more often, but no, they're just interested in farming and gaining some map control right now, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think they could straight up frontal push a tier 2, especially when they don't have Black Hole, but even if they do have Black Hole, I think they're looking for a pick first with their Pudge. So I think this might be more of a long drawn out game, which you were mentioning the scaling of the heroes. Weaver has a lot more room to grow, and now Jabs with the, especially the Midas BOT build, I think he's okay to take this game fairly long as well. XY does have the Linken's finish, so I'm not sure what the gank party is about, but it's really not going to happen, especially Lion still quite a bit away here from his blink.
Yeah, Rubik's going to beat him to it, and both of these blink initiators, these instant blink initiators, going to be very important. Like you mentioned, Lion on top of the Weaver, even with the Lincolns, he can still kind of penetrate it if he's fast enough, and then for Team Faceless, a blink with Nuts telekinesis can make sure that this Juggernaut can't get a Blade Fury off.
I mean, the difference is that the Lion is playing a 4 position. The Rubik's playing 5. Like,
True.
Does he still be able to actually go ahead on the blink race because he has?
Well, so I mean, technically Lion should be the 5, but he's actually out farming his Ogre Magi, and I think at this point Ogre's like, whatever, I don't need any items. You need the blink far more than I need an Aether Lens or something.
Alright, well, Faceless is now poking up on the high ground to do a little bit of pit damage. It's not even a little bit, that's just half HP on your tower. Oh my god. The respawn time a little bit slow here by Trust.
It's all about that Helm of the Dominator. No one expects that kind of attack speed aura coming out from Eidolons.
Oh, that's gonna hit. Sunstrike prepped on top. Really good to see those kind of Sunstrikes. Like, you know your teammate's gonna hit the hook. He's gonna throw it on top of the Pudge no matter what. Reminds me back in the days when I dual kill with one of my friends. He would always pick Pudge, I would always pick Mirana, and it got to a point where I don't even shoot arrow at enemy anymore. I just shoot at my Pudge.
Wow.
And then
that's like a trust fall kind of thing.
That's what we just saw, right? Like, he definitely just Sunstrike on top of his Pudge, man. Mikels somehow is keeping himself very relevant despite of his early laning stage, but I still think that Juggernaut needs a bit more than what he's got currently.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to participate in this fight. Lion gets cycloned.
Okay, here comes the Meepo.
Meepo comes in.
Black hole though. Oh yeah, he's gone. Wait, he got a lot of HP back. I'm not sure how, but
yeah, I saw that as well.
On the back line here, Lakel's in a lot of trouble. It's gonna pop off his Omni Slash, but to what avail? He's gonna go for jabs, trying to spin on him, but gets bitten immediately by Black. They blink forward, and now Mr. Jin is gonna get caught. Black blinking forward as well. Should be a very easy hook if he wants to commit it. But oh, he was going for someone else. I like that play, but unfortunately he missed that hook. I don't even know how he got vision up there because they did not have a ward.
It's game sense. That's all it is.
Well,
I'm crediting that entire fight to Enigma. He was waiting. He was 10 steps ahead. He knew Meepo was going to come in.
That is his only job in this game, though. Like, just make
exactly.
Sure. Well, XY getting that alacrity does fix his damage problem. Blink hook, that's gonna hit on here. Okay, Tigger does drop off the Hex, but it does not matter as he's surrounded by 4. They do lift back the Pit Lord. Keep in mind, this is his buyback. He gets hit by the Ice Wall, nicely clipped, and Black just waiting for the hook cooldown if they even need it. Okay, the hook, of course, will hit on Ogre Magi. That's gonna be 2 more kills on Faceless. And with the dieback on Pit Lord, 50 seconds without him, I think that's gonna have to prompt the GG sooner or later.
When does Black practice this Pudge? Like, this is a very seasoned Pudge. And granted, there is a lot of setup this game. BKB popped.
He almost died.
Oh!
Back line here. Uh-oh. Meepo comes back in, missing pretty much every single spell, and Jab's now up on the hill. Hooks back in, and that's going to be a kill here for Faceless. Oh, Taker comes back in from the back line, gets 1 TP, but now gets found here by Black. And I think this was the build that you mentioned earlier, right? The Midas Blink build on Pudge.
That's the one. And Aghanim Scepter was next up for him. Right now, Black has a Arcane booster, or Energy booster queued up. But yeah, as we see, the only limit to Black Pudge is the cooldown of his hook, and that's it. And so, put it on 4 seconds, and all of Signature Trust are going to be slowly slipping out of their base into the clutches of Faceless.
Yeah. Perhaps mana is a concern here for us, well, but now that he's got the Aether Lens finish, he should be okay. And Faceless is pretty much in a let's wait for a cooldown mode and then finish the game. They'll take down a couple of shrines as a meanwhile. This game kind of just escalated very quickly, right? Because there was maybe like a 5,000 to 6,000 lead comfortably for Faceless, and then just after one fight, Tresh just died.
Oh, Black Hole?
Okay, he's got the BKB. Omni-Side's gonna go on Black, but now the Black Hole's gonna come down here. Okay, Meteor is not gonna hit too much, but it does pick off the Ogre in the back line. Nice buy here onto the Juggernaut. I think he was trying to be sent home. This hook, though. Black's gonna find another one, and that's gonna be 3 more. The bot racks will be opened, and the Eidolons are crewing up right now.
I don't really know what Enigma was waiting for. I guess you can be a little bit skeptical as you see a whole bunch of heroes that are not the Meepo. Yeah. And as we said, Ice Ice's whole job is to be anti-Meepo duty. So I can see why he kind of held on to it, but it was such a nice black hole.
It was. Especially because he's got the Golden Bracer. Right? You pop the BKB, you pop that golden black hole, everything is just golden in there. Seems good.
The next Rex down. They're not even going to bother going for the next rush. I think they're just going to put Signature Trust in the ground right now, and especially if Black can find this Meepo. They don't have vision, or they do have vision, just barely with this ward, but too late.
Yep. I think this ward scouted out the Meepo walking out of his base, but... I mean, I was going to say they wait for cooldowns, but I don't think Enigma really cares about whether he has Black Hole or not.
Hopefully that won't come back to bite them, because even though Meepo has not really been able to do very much in fights, he's been farming pretty respectably, has 2 Dragon Lances, E-Blade, and Blink completed. Haven't seen the E-Blade be used yet, but if you can manage to put a Lion Finger and an E-Blade on someone, you can pretty much insta-give any one of... Oh, there is a dead Underlord.
Guess who found that kill? The Blink hook here, and
my
now
boy,
Jabs. Oh
Black.
my god. Alright, nice Blink Deafening Blast. That's going to be 2 extra kills. Tornado is going to force the kills to actually use the spin. And Faceless is going to push up on the high ground hook. This time missing here. And I just don't know what they're going to do to defend this one.
They're going to defend themselves mentally by talking about the next game, because that's really the only reason why you'd still be playing right now. Another hook on the Meepo. Doesn't matter anymore. If you poof on the Pudge, he has 3.2k HP. Yep.
XY? He should be fine. Yule Scepter's gonna find one. The hook! Oh, the Tornado! Everything hitting on Lakel's. Lakel's needs to spin, but now he's kind of away from his face. Nuts might be in a little bit of trouble. Nuts is gonna actually get a spin, but the Omni Slash, Lucky Bounces? Lucky Bounces is not gonna find Lakel's. Or sorry, not gonna find Lutz, and the Lakel's will go down. On the backline, PP being chased here by the Invoker, who's right-clicking for a bunch. Black just waiting for the hook. Waiting. Okay, the Black Hole, that's gonna hit on everybody. The Deafening Blast, trying to push them out. And somehow Nuts just survives through all of this at red health. And he's good. That's gonna be the GG call here, as Mega Creep has been gotten by Faceless. And Faceless is just flexing the muscle right now. The first pick Pudge. Completely uninterrupted, and definitely one of the reasons why they won this game.
I am never going to question Black Pudge ever again after that performance. I feel like Signature Trust, it was a stand-in playing the Meepo. Again, I never know if they're actually stand-ins or just poorly labeled players, but it was definitely like a somewhat cheese tactic from Signature Trust. Maybe it's a Signature Meepo pick, but picking it 5th, you kind of want to have to surprise the enemy team and be like, oh god, it's a Meepo. But Faceless were not, like, they didn't even flinch at all. And Ice Enigma was just putting on a clinic along with Black Pudge.
Maybe that's why they wanted to kill Enigma so many times up top, because that's Meepo insurance, right? Once the mid game comes,
true.
I don't think Meepo was able to do what he wanted to do in any single team fight. Even the team fight that they won, Meepo just got the black hole. It was the rest of the team that kind of cleaned up, so... Unfortunately, here for Signature Trust, they will not be able to shut down Enigma enough times, at least. and it was a very easy victory on the back of the Black Pudge as well as the Japs the Invoker. Game 2 is going to be coming your way, and keep in mind this is going to be a best of 3 series, although Faceless is making a very strong case of best of 2 if they win the next one. And that's going to do it here for now. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for the next one.